Hi everyone, Elisa here, and in this video we are going to talk about the product management career ladder. For those of you who are new here, hello and welcome. I'm so happy you're here. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. I know it's been a hot minute since my last video. Apologies for that, but I'm here now. Got my cat with me. She is watching me from up above, and she's also ready to get things started. So I'm not gonna lie, this video is jam-packed with a lot of information. So make sure to look at the chapters at the bottom of this video so that in case you don't have all the time that you need to commit to this video, you can find the chapter that is most relevant to you and where you're at in your product management career journey. So let's talk about the career ladder in product management. I definitely wanted to do this video because I know, at least for myself, when I started in product management, I didn't really know what the next 5 or 10 years could look like. And I'm sure that's the same for a lot of you. Maybe you are looking to get started, or you just got started in an associate product manager role, and you're not really sure what to strive for next. Well, if you find yourself in that position, then this video will hopefully be extremely helpful for you. Now, there are a lot of different methodologies for how you can kind of define the different roles within product management, but I stumbled across a methodology that I really liked, and that methodology was in the Cracking the PM Career book, which I highly recommend. And in this book, they break down each role by talking about the amount of scope, impact, and autonomy each role has. So as you get started in your product manager career, scope, autonomy, and impact are all relatively small, but as you graduate to each new role within product management, you'll see each of those components of product really expand. So let's take it from the top and start with the associate product manager role. For a lot of us, including myself, the associate product manager role is often the starting point for a person in their product management career. A lot of companies will hire people straight out of school for associate product manager positions, or will hire people with career experience, but maybe people who've never done any product management before. It is a great role to get your foot in the door in the world of product management. And now a lot of companies are different, but I know there are some companies out there, especially the bigger ones, that actually have formal associate product manager rotational programs. So you get started in one of these programs, maybe every 6 months you kind of rotate to a different part of the product. It's a great learning opportunity, and it allows you to really learn product management without the fear of messing up. You're always going to be watched over by someone higher up in product management. And that's part of the beauty of the APM role. Your scope is small. You're going to be working on fairly small, contained projects. Your impact is probably small, which means if you fail on your project, you probably won't take down the company, and your autonomy is also small. You'll probably have maybe a senior product manager who is kind of mentoring you throughout your APM journey. So generally, as a good APM, you will be able to successfully launch small features. You'll make your way through the entire product lifecycle, and you'll have really good peer reviews. People will like working with you, which is an important part of being in product in general. Now, obviously, things are different in different companies, but for the most part, if you are a good APM, after about 1 to 2 years, you will likely graduate to that product manager role. So once you do graduate on from that APM role, we're brought to the good old product manager role, the bread and butter of product management. A lot of companies break down the PM role into PM1, PM2, PM3, etc. But for this video, I'm just going to focus on the PM role in general. So as you become a PM, your scope, impact, and autonomy, they increase. So you'll likely be taking on a little bit bigger feature set than you were as an APM. You will be taking on features that could actually have an impact on the company. maybe not take down the company if you fail, but will have some sort of impact whether you succeed or fail. And then you'll definitely have more autonomy. You will likely be able to get through your day-to-day independently, do all of your team ceremonies independently, do a lot of your road mapping with just some light hand-holding from maybe more senior people in product. So again, that scope, impact, and autonomy definitely increase as you get to that product manager role. Good product managers often have a pretty good track record of launching features, obviously make it through multiple product life cycles, can set their roadmap so that they're in alignment with company strategy, and good product managers also start to do the research with customers, really understand customer problems. Good PMs will dig into metrics, not only when they're researching solutions, but also when they're trying to see what the impact of their releases are. In your first year of being a product manager, I recommend that you just strive for being a good product manager. Launch your features, look at the metrics, talk to customers, make sure you're on top of your roadmap, and be really good to work with. Once you have a year of really good product management under your belt, it will be time for you to start thinking about what additional senior capabilities you can start to take on. And that's not to say that within a year you'll be promoted to senior PM, but generally if you are looking to be promoted to senior PM, it means that you're already doing a lot of the senior PM responsibilities. And now, before I dive into the next role, which is Senior Product Manager, I want to take a break and tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Almanac. Almanac is an online document editor that is built specifically for async collaboration. I can honestly say this product is pretty freaking fantastic. Almanac has the foundations of any great document editor. You can definitely format your documents any way you'd like. With just a backslash, you can insert titles or headers, tables, you can insert images or Giphies, and you can actually insert entire files, including Figma files. So for product managers, that's huge. One of my favorite parts of Almanac is hands down their handbooks feature. Now, handbooks in Almanac are basically a curated set of documents that allow you to group together your documents. I often create product process documents, and it's so hard for people to find all the documents that they need, especially when they're onboarding. So with Almanac, they allow you to create handbooks where you can have a full set of documents. Lastly, one of the biggest parts of Almanac is their review and approval functionality. So Almanac makes it easy for you to request review and approval of your documents, and they even let you create separate branches, make edits to those branches, and then request approval before you merge that branch into the main document. So if you are looking for a great tool for all of your document creation and organization, I highly recommend you check out almanac.io and create your free account. Thank you so much, Almanac. Let's dive back into the career ladder video. So now let's talk about the transition from product manager to senior product manager. Now, again, being a senior product manager, you are going to need to increase your autonomy, impact, and scope. But trust me, that transition from product manager to senior product manager is no small feat, and I am willing to bet that most product people out there say it takes them longer than they expected to actually get to that senior PM level. It's definitely one of those roles where you have to kind of operate as a senior product manager before you get to be a senior product manager. Now, senior product managers generally work on larger, more impactful products that maybe even span across a couple squads or require collaboration with other teams in general. Senior PMs will also be able to operate much more independently than their product manager counterparts. They require almost no hand-holding day to day, and they're able to kind of set their strategy for their part of the product with only light hand-holding from maybe the director of product. Senior PMs are also required to measure the impact that their releases are having on the company as a whole, and are required to do a lot of strategy research before defining their roadmap and actually diving into execution. So for senior product managers, they still have the same amount of execution responsibilities, but senior PMs generally can do that more efficiently, which gives them more space to do some of that strategic work, which could be competitive research, doing a lot of customer research, data deep dives, so on and so forth. In my experience, senior PMs also kind of start to be mentors for the product department in general. Senior PMs are kind of the people who are training in the younger PMs kind of unofficially. Sure, the younger PMs don't report to them, but they will look to the senior PMs as mentors. Now, just as getting to senior PM is no small feat, moving beyond senior PM it's even harder. I think as you continue growing in your career, no matter what department you're in, as you get more and more senior, it gets harder and harder for you to get that next promotion. But once you have been operating as a senior product manager for a few years, you might be ready to start thinking about what that next step should be. Now, in a product career ladder, there's kind of a fork at this point in your career. You can choose to continue to be an individual contributor, and that would be the principal product manager role, or you can choose to go the managerial route and go into a lead PM or group PM role, and that would kind of take you to director, head of product, VP, and beyond. So I will start with the principal product manager role, which is not just being a really, really good product manager. If you are a principal product manager, you are an exceptional PM, and you will be trusted with the most impactful and often largest scope projects in the product organization. You'll also be expected to operate pretty autonomously. Honestly, promotions to the principal level are rare, and they really are the highest echelon of the product organization in general for individual contributors. So if you really love the foundations of product management, if you love understanding customer problems and building creative solutions with your engineering team and launching those features and measuring the feature success, then the IC or individual contributor route might be the right route for you. Now, I have to be honest, I never really understood why someone would want to choose the principal product manager role instead of going into the managerial route, which can take you, to director, VP, and beyond. But I think I'm starting to get it more and more as I spend more and more time as a manager in product management. So just last year, I, for the first time, was promoted to a group product manager role where I had a couple reports. And I have to say, I miss a lot of the day-to-day of product management. Maybe 20% of my job is pure product management, but the rest of my time is spent coaching my team, making sure that my team is delivering, making sure that we are in alignment with the strategy, contributing to strategy, doing presentations, and kind of creating the processes that people in product should be following. Don't get me wrong, I have loved this role. I've learned a lot from it, but I do definitely miss some of the aspects of true product management. So if you do really love just like that day-to-day of product management, I highly recommend that you consider that principal product manager role. And take it from me, just because you choose the principal PM role, it doesn't mean that you have to stay there for the rest of your career. I actually was able to make the transition from principal to group product manager. So if I can do it, so can you. Now I've talked a bit about the principal product manager role. If you do go the other direction and want to manage people, you will likely start out as a group product manager or a lead PM, both of which are kind of player coach roles where you have a small team of maybe 1 to 5 people, and you are ultimately responsible for making sure that your team's deliverables are strong, make sure you're coaching your team, and that you're contributing to kind of the product processes, doing a lot of communication across the organization, so on and so forth. I won't spend too much time on the roles beyond GPM and product lead, simply because This is where it really does start to get into the leadership stratosphere, and things will change from company to company. But generally, if you are following the managerial route, you will kind of start in that player coach role as a group product manager or PM lead, and then will graduate on to be product director, then maybe head of product or VP of product, and who knows, even CPO could be in your future. So that was a lot of information. I hope this was helpful for you, especially if you're young in your product career and you're just curious to know what the next 5 or 10 years could look like for you. Now, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And if you want to hear more from me, please subscribe. Also, be sure to check out Almanac. Truly, I highly recommend it. There's a link in the description where you can learn more. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you next time. Bye, friends.